ever swim in the deep end until you. I've always stayed where I could touch the ground, where the water was familiar and the sound of the shallow end was safe and within reach. I never trusted the depth beyond the beach, but you stood at the edge of the pool and smiled and said, come in, and something in your wild and certain eyes convinced me that the deep was worth the leaving of the shallow sleep. I jumped before I thought it through completely, and the water took me underneath so sweetly, and I found that deep was just another word for everything that shallow had deferred. The deep end, the deep end, I'm all in with nothing held in the end. The deep end, the deep end, where the bottom is too far down to pretend again. I've ever done this kind of love before. I've always stood just inside the door. The deep end, the deep end, I'm here and I'm not coming back to shore. Total vulnerability is terrifying. Every surface thought and fear underline the careful presentation of the self. I took them off the shelf and laid them on the water and said, here, this is everything I am and every fear. This is everything I am and every fear, and you receive them without blinking once, which is the bravest thing I've ever known someone to trust. The deep end, the deep end, I'm all in with nothing held in the end. The deep end, the deep end, where the bottom is too far down to pretend again. I've ever done this kind of love before. I've always stood just inside the door. The deep end, the deep end, I'm here and I'm not coming back to shore. The deep end is the only place where love lives, where the shallow and the partial and the gives. Just enough don't reach the real is only found where you let the water take you past the ground. The deep end, the deep end, all in, no coming back, no coming back.